Hello, and welcome to WTF.
Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Our posting schedule.
Where we talk about books, writing, and everything else we enjoy.
And today, we particularly are pleased to present a huge announcement that has been in the works for, I don't even know, like years, many years. So, okay, 2 years is a lot of
2 years
when
feels
you're
like a
working
lot of work.
Okay, and especially within the last few days, we've been working very hard to present
my book's cover art and title. So
now, we're not going to give it to you right away because that would ruin the suspense. So we're going to enjoy this release party.
Yeah,
welcome to the release party.
Welcome.
You have a free invitation.
Okay, it's not a release party. Okay, we're not releasing the book. It's a cover and art. Title release party.
Yeah, which is kind of a big deal, guys.
Yeah.
So, after today, you will
have a name. I can start
names.
calling my book by its name.
Wow. That'll be great. So, all right, so I think we're going to open up with interview, yes?
Sure. I thought we were going to have interview and donuts, though.
Interview and donuts. Oh, you want donuts now?
I do want donuts.
You want donuts
I want
now?
donuts.
Okay.
Release party donuts from Walmart. So
yeah, we went to Walmart.
We're not expecting them to be top tier, but
we did want to share our experience of eating them with you guys on
Walmart
camera.
Donuts.
So, yeah. Oh yeah, and I'm Ella's
bodyguard if you
today.
saw our reel /short / whatever else we posted as.
Yeah.
/ interviewer.
/ interviewer.
She's my bodyguard and interviewer.
Bodyguard. These glasses, the look is based off of Fiona from Burn Notice. I love you, Fiona!
Alrighty, we've gathered the goods. 3 different flavors. Walmart donuts.
Yeah.
I don't actually really technically know what they are.
We're guessing chocolate, maple, and glaze.
Yeah, just plain.
But we aren't sure.
I'm gonna start with the maple.
That's why I'm your bodyguard. I should try it first.
You should. What? No. Okay.
Cheers. That is a really mediocre donut.
Yeah. I mean, it's better than the last donut I had. This one is probably better. Here, let's trade these. I'll eat. You'll interview me. You can eat while I answer your questions.
Okay, so what's it been like in these past few days, just these few days, with specifically cover art and title?
A lot. I mean, title, not at all. I mean, I've had the title since I started writing it. But the cover art, I completely redrew in 3 days. It took me 9.5 hours to draw this version of it. We also made a pattern for it, which is fantabulous.
Not included in the 9.5 hours.
Yeah, not included in the 9.5 hours. So I probably spent 10 hours on, and that's not actually including the spine work that I did today or the back. So I've spent probably like 11 hours on doing this cover art. I mean, in case it isn't obvious by this point, I am both the author and the artist of it. I've also been making, what's the fancy word for those letters? The starting.
I don't know exactly what they're called. The illuminated letters at the beginning of each chapter.
So I've also been drawing those, and I may or may not do illustrations throughout the book. It's not obviously a kid's book. It's a YA fantasy book. So I'd be doing that mostly for, like, vibes. So, yeah, it's been really intense because I've also been balancing finishing this draft of the book because I'm going to be reading it to our parents / publishers this weekend. So it's going to be interesting. I also, yesterday, I was like, okay, I need to write this part. Aubin, can you, like, read everything that precedes it to me? You're chewing.
We never introduced ourselves.
We never did. Okay. Sorry. Back up.
Guys, I'm happy to present Mariella May / m.m.wonderland, artist, poet, mixed media artist, soon to be author, and I don't know, you're learning the guitar now, so
Yeah.
who knows?
Musician.
Who knows what's next?
Maybe.
Her book is set to come out in May, and
May 5th,
she
2025,
is
so 5/5/2025.
generally amazing, and also my younger sister.
Yes, and taller sister.
And taller sister.
This is Aubin Elise, author of A Second Nature of Indigo, a book set in the Victorian era about murder and circus thrown in there. It's very cool, very lovely. Spans age ranges. She's also set to come out with another amazing book, hopefully in late summer.
Yeah, we're aiming for late summer, early fall.
So, back to the donuts and questions.
Right. You just took a bite, so maybe... So yeah, Ella asked me, hey, can you look over this stuff? And I was like, okay. And as we were reading through it, it was pretty clear it was some of Ella's older writing. It wasn't as finessed as her newer stuff. And
She read to me like probably 12,000 words? No.
no, I think, okay, I read you 4 solid chapters.
Yeah.
4 really solid, like,
Long.
full-length chapters. And
then
we
I
kind
was
of got,
just like-
we kind of got halfway through and we were like,
I don't like it.
Yeah, we were both just like, this isn't
So, yesterday
what we know it can be.
I was like, okay, I'm going to redo it all. I'm going to rewrite it all. So I deleted a bunch of it. I mean, I didn't delete it. I saved it to a different doc.
Yeah.
And then I just started rewriting it. So I wrote over almost 6,000 words yesterday.
Yeah.
I'll probably write
Which
a ton
is a
more.
lot, guys. Most professional writers, Brandon Sanderson aims to write 2,000 words a day. He generally writes 2,000 words a day. So 6,000 is a lot, guys.
So yeah, that was super fun. It's really interesting because I feel like the closer you get to finishing something, the less it feels like you're doing stuff.
Because
Because
so true.
this also happened with my cover art. I was doing detail work and I was like, okay, this is so much detail work. And I spent, like 3 hours doing highlights and it looked amazing at the end. And I was so happy with how the highlights came out, but it felt very tiny work. And now doing like the final chapters, trying to write a climax, doing all of this stuff. I mean, I wrote almost 6,000 words in a day, but it felt like I didn't do anything because I was deleting stuff and I was rewriting stuff and I was changing my whole ending plot. So it felt kind of like I was just catching up, which is not a great feeling, but something I will work on.
But what happened yesterday was... It was amazing. Man, I've got just one more bite.
I know.
Oh, let's cheers.
Wait, I wanted this one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the maple is definitely
So much better. Why did I let you eat most of the maple?
Because...
Okay.
How do you feel about cover art and how it matches how the book is progressing? How do you think, because you've had a lot of different versions of cover art, how do you think the previous versions have matched with previous versions? And this, what do you feel is the most important part of your current cover art?
Well, definitely the shift in what's prioritized. So before I had this character that was like the main antagonist, and he still is for a large percentage of the book. And so the first cover art I did was very centered around, okay, actually that's not true. The first cover art
you did. I still really enjoy that first cover art.
Yeah, that's actually the one I forget the most often.
Really? Mm-hmm. It was very impactful for me because, it was the first one you showed me.
Yeah.
And I do still think it's really cool.
It is interesting. I do like, and I definitely took parts of it every rendition that I did.
Yeah.
So the second rendition, which I think of as the first rendition most of the time, really focused on how that character was influencing the main character in a very poignant way. And I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
It was cool and I like it, but it wasn't the story that it became. Also, it had very few references to any characters except for one character that
Interesting.
isn't in as much of the story. I mean, he's an important character, but not as focal point. And then the third rendition of cover art I did was very, I think it very much so centered around I wanted it to be almost deceptive in its essence. So I wanted it to be like gentle, but also dangerous. And I wanted it to have small references to a bunch of different characters. So you don't really know exactly what is the most important. And I did really enjoy that cover art. For a long time, I thought that was going to be the cover art.
Yeah.
But like the parts that we just took out, I didn't love it. When I made it, I loved it. And when I
like with the parts we took out.
Like with the parts that we took out. I mean, the parts that we took out were already rewrites. Now, the final cover, I'm so happy with. It focuses on so much more of the like ending feelings. It's so much more about all the other ones. I didn't know the climax as well. I didn't know the end. I didn't know the finale. I didn't know what we were heading towards. So now that I know that, I was able to create the cover with that clarity.
Yeah. So do you think the cover art will change again?
No.
No, you don't.
I don't think. I mean, I might make a rendition for a special edition or something, or an exclusive maybe, but I don't think I'm going to change it. I think that this cover art is going to be, the basic book that you would buy at the store or see in the library. So that is the plan.
That's really exciting.
Yeah, that is super exciting.
This is really important. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that's so cool. So what do you think? We've talked about the connection between the cover art in the book, but what about the title? So you've kept the same title, but the story has changed. So how do you think the title has... What's your relationship with that?
It's actually so interesting. I wrote the title just because I needed a title for the Google Doc that I initially started in, and I didn't think I would keep it. But our mom, really loved it. Yeah, and I was like, okay, it is actually pretty cool, and it's very simplistic. It doesn't give away a lot. Yeah. It almost doesn't talk about itself, which I find in a lot of YA titles is that it almost is talking about itself. Like the title itself is another like blurb, I guess, or another
yes, that happens a lot in anime too.
Yeah, it's just like this.
I mean, anime it's on like steroids, but YA as well.
Yeah, it's almost like it's trying to give you a vibe in a very like, oh, if you like this book, you'll like this book, which is never how I wanted to market my book. It's my book. If you like it, you like it. That's awesome. But I mean, you might like other books, and you might think that it's similar to.
You might like other books.
Hopefully, you'd like other books, and you might think it's similar to those books. But I don't really comp my book. I mean, I don't have a classical publisher, so I don't need to. But I don't think that there's any book that I would comp it to.
The world is Alice in Wonderland. So you would say the world is Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah, but it's very different than any Alice in Wonderland retelling that I've ever read or heard of.
I would say maybe with like some of the world building level of something like Hunger Games or the world building level, not style, or even with like touches of Lord of the Rings and Fey worlds.
Okay,
even though
funny.
It's not Fey. It's not a Fey world.
It's not a Fey world.
It's a Wonderland world. But
the only two comps that I thought of were like The Hobbit or the Lord of the Rings. Yeah, but The Hobbit more so.
The Hobbit is a good one.
And then The Name of the Wind. Okay. For like, I haven't read the second book, and the third book's obviously not written, so I don't know, but. For the first book, how the world building works, how it follows the character change so much throughout the story, how like things develop is more like Name of the Wind than pretty much any other book. So the weird thing is I wouldn't really comp it to most YA books, and I'm not saying like, oh my gosh, my book is better than YA books. Yeah. The only one I can think of, it's not like the other YA books. The only one I can think of that I would actually maybe possibly comp it to would be to The Folk of the Air. In ways.
Interesting.
In like how the world is presented and like gone through.
Okay. Yeah.
And like how the characters develop power and strength.
I kind of see that.
But it's not like
it's not like
you might like it if you like Folk of the Air, but it's very different.
It's not the same.
But we got off topic from the title.
Yeah. So title.
Yeah, it's really interesting because there's a very important poem, or I'll leave it at poem, that's in the book, and it incorporates the title, which is something that I found super fascinating, because I had written the title and then I wrote the poem, and seeing how it could like fit into it was so fun. And actually I've rewritten the poem several times.
You have.
Its relationship within the story has also changed, and the story's relationship with it has changed. So it's a very interesting, I don't know, just like duality of how it like fits into it. Like, it has been the same since the beginning, but it also has influenced and been like, my perspective of it has been influenced by how I wrote it.
Yeah. What would you say has been the biggest insider for the change in the books? What was the catalyst?
Reading it to you guys, first of all. So I read it every night. That I would write during the day, and then I would read it to my family. And your ideas and your stuff, I'm going to be honest, when I first started writing it, I was very jealous about my work, and I was very prideful. It was not great. Okay, I'm going to be honest. When I first started it, it was good. It was cool. I mean, I started writing it when I was 13.
Yeah.
So, like, for a 13-year-old who was writing their first novel, it was pretty good.
Oh, yeah, it was great.
It was great.
It was great.
But I was expecting, I grew up with my sister. She had already published a novel, and I was expecting that I could do it, just off the bat. I somehow had forgotten that my sister took 3 years to finish her book, but...
Well, it had been such a long time since, how old were I? Was 14 when I was reading it to you guys, so you were 10. So you don't remember me reading Indigo. Maybe you weren't as like thinking critically as like, okay, this isn't the best book ever. This is actually needs a lot of work.
I was just like, whoa, she's writing a full book.
And then like mom and dad were really proud of me that I'd written a full book, and they also were like, hey
super
guys,
proud
this
of
needs
me.
work. This needs work too. But so but you didn't like. You weren't as in the process, so maybe it was like...
If you watch, our mom has a podcast, it's / YouTube, it's Love Your Unlovable, and I actually have an episode with my mom on there where I talk about how to love my unlovable brain, and there we talk about the growth that I've gone through with learning how to accept criticism, and learning how to, going back to cover art, like, you were giving me constant criticism while I was drawing it.
Criticism.
It was honestly criticism.
I was like...
And you were like, no, you need to fix that. And I'd be like, but I just did that. And I would be like, no, you got to fix it again. And I'm like, and then it would get so much better. And I'd be like, oh, thank you.
Here's how my job goes. Ella does something, and I'm like, Ella,
you can do it better.
I know you could do that better.
And I'm like,
and
yes,
then she's like, oh, but it would be so much work. And I'd be like, just do it. And then I just watch her do it, and then she's like, "Wow, that looks so good! What a surprise!" and then I'm like, "Oh, what about this?" And she's like, "Oh, it takes so much work." And I'm like, "Ella,
9 hours later,
it needs to be
yeah." And it was a lot of work. I'm gonna be honest.
I know it was a lot of work, but you did it.
I did do it, and it was great.
It's really good. And then the same with the pattern. The pattern was like such an interesting 4-hour journey.
Yeah.
It was really amazing. And I'm so happy that I got to do that with you. I'm very thankful.
No, I'm so glad you were doing it there with me, because again, you
would have taken the icon.
I probably would have just been like, good enough for me. And I would have been like, Auburn was there, so she was like, no, you can do so much better. I'm like, I can. Dang it. But yeah.
That's basically my job.
There's something else I was gonna say about. So yeah, definitely you guys talking to me about it. And now I'm so much better at taking criticism, so it's even more fun. I can take people's advice so much more easily, and it's so great. So that's definitely been a huge one. Also, what I read and what I consume. Yeah. So like, that's pretty obvious, but just, I've been reading more, epic fantasy, more like big, huge battles and journeys and stuff like that. So it's been, obviously been making writing an epic fantasy a lot easier and a lot more whole, I guess. So definitely what I read, what I consume. Also kind of what I read and consume in the other way. If I read something or watch something and I really dislike how they use a plot point or how they develop a character or how this dialogue goes, and I'm like, oh, I have a similar thing in my book, or like, oh, I was planning on something like that, or oh my gosh, now I need to do that.
Yeah.
It makes that more interesting, and it makes figuring that out more fun. I mean, I feel like it's the motivation of like, how could you do that to me? I'm gonna do it nicer.
Better.
Except I'm actually a really mean author,
Yeah. She's kind of like Saba in that way. The author of The Ember and the Ashes.
Yeah. I'm a rather
unkind
author. But don't worry. I actually said that to a friend.
Oh my gosh,
I was reading a friend a short story, and it has a bunch of trigger warnings. It has a bunch of trigger warnings. And I had forgotten to read her the trigger warnings, first of all.
You did warn her.
I did warn
verbally.
her.
You were like, this is a pretty dark story.
And she was like, meh, I'm sure it's fine. And then, I started, and I was like, wow, this is, really, really dark. And she was like, okay. And I was like, don't worry.
It was just, don't worry.
And then she was like, I am so much more worried.
Yeah.
And then I finished, and she was like, that was horrendous, but well written.
Yeah, it's not that.
It's not that bad.
No.
That's the most intense sadness. Actually, some of the prequels. But that's it.
Yeah. No.
So I'm also making a.
I hear everything, and it's like Ella comes up to me sometimes,
and I'm like, oh, I could kill off all of these characters.
I mean, guess what I just wrote? And then she reads me something, and I'm like, that was really good, but really sad. I feel like we should have another donut.
I feel like we should have a donut.
Okay. And
I want a chocolate one.
I was thinking that maybe we could split one halvesies.
Okay. And then I want the maple one.
Okay.
Because you ate most of that one.
Yeah. That's fine. Oh, guys, I just did my glasses like this, like in the meme. It's because I have donut hands.
The 16 chicken wings.
This is the worst one.
I don't know. It's like slightly better than the plain. I mean, you ate the maple one, which was the best one. So I'm just gonna talk. Out of a scale of 10 for these donuts, I'm gonna give them a solid 4, 5. No, there's some really bad donuts. Maybe 5.5.
I can't stand chewing ASMR.
Unless it's
Felix from Stray Kids. And then it doesn't matter what's going on.
You guys will just have to find the clip. It was the smallest bite in the world. How are you chewing this long?
It was 2 bites because I didn't finish my second bite. I'm gonna go wash my hands because I don't see myself.
Yeah, I'm also gonna wash hands.
What are you most excited for the fans to interact with within your book?
That's a fun one. I mean, I'm so excited to see everything. I'm excited to see fan art, and I'm excited to see comics and memes and all the little random things that come, and I'm even excited to see annotations and vibe edits and stuff like that. So I'm just really excited, guys. I really want to see how you mess with my world. So, yeah.
Is there anything that you're scared they're gonna do? Is there anything that worries you?
I guess weird ships.
That is always a worry in every fandom. Guys,
nothing more to say on that.
Yeah. What's the list? What's
memes,
top 6?
fan art. Yeah. Probably memes are top. I love book memes.
Memes are really good.
So memes, fan art, then edits, then I guess cosplay. Actually cosplay might be above fan art.
Yeah, cosplay is
so it would be
great.
Memes, cosplay, fan art, edits.
Guys, there are some really, really
interesting
cool cosplay opportunities in this book.
Yeah, there are. Ooh. So, I hope you cosplayers who are watching have a lot of fun with my characters. Yeah, I'm just really excited for people to love it as much as I do. So yeah, heartwarming.
As the fandom ambassador, I think it's the official. Because I'm wearing the black shirt right now. I think they will. There's no way they can't. So.
Yeah. Are we gonna pour my...
Yeah. Guys, we have some milk
blueberry milk
with blueberries.
I call it milk because I'm weird. It's what my grandma calls it, so.
I heard that land in your stomach. Welcome to the last moments of WTF without knowing
the name.
Oh, the name of your book.
Alrighty, guys. All
right.
Drum roll. The name of my book is Hearts and Stones.
What?
I know, if you were expecting like a really dramatic title. No.
It is a dramatic title.
It is.
Hearts and Stones.
I like it in its simplicity. It's not... I like that it can be interpreted in a lot of ways. It's like, it doesn't need to be telling you something. It's just is.
Yeah.
So part 1 is the battle, and part 2 is the war. So how both parts begin with a future quote. It's so weird thinking back to working on part 1, because I'm so deep into working on part 2 that it's like, wow, part 1 is so much more casual or like more, it's less intense. It's the battle, not the war. So yeah. Alrighty, now we're gonna reveal cover art, and then we'll move into more. Okay, so.
All right.
Yeah.
Wait. We need a drum roll.
And so, this is the cover art. Ba-da-da! I'll do close-up shots now. You'll be getting to see all the little things.
Oh, yeah.
You can see at the top the lovely title mixed in the curvature of it. So, yeah, this is the artwork that took me 9 hours. As you can see, this pattern is what we made. So, within the armor, within the background. So, this pattern is really special because it incorporates all of the suits of cards and the Night King Press logo. So, Night King Press is the publishing company that our parents started, and the publishing company that
We're continuing.
I mean, they're
also
continuing it.
So
it's not like they're not here.
It's a family effort. So let's drink to
Let's
drink our milk to the brightest future of your book.
Thank you. It's kind of bland, actually. It's unsweetened almond milk
with frozen blueberries, and I didn't get any blueberries because they're all at the bottom. So it's just
quite as impressive.
Vaguely blue milk.
It's kind of like
Who do you think is going to be the fan favorite character?
That is most obviously going to be the main male character.
Yo!
I think we can reveal his name.
Yeah, I mean, you learn it very quickly.
You learn it within the second chapter.
Chapter 2.
Chapter 2.
I don't think Atlas made it until chapter 3. So
wow.
Cheshire beat him.
Cheshire, yes. So before you start being like, is he a cat? No. Not really. He's not a cat, okay? He is a Cheshire, which is a magical creature, but they're not cats. And also his name is Cheshire. So it gets a little confusing, but very fun.
Oh, so funny.
So yeah, his name is Cheshire.
Okay. Why do we like him so much?
I can't answer that question, seeing as how I'm not a fan. I'm the author.
Oh, okay.
Why do you love him so much, Robin?
Okay, well, since the first draft, he's just been particularly funny. I think his humor has changed slightly as he's gotten older, like he was much younger when the book started.
No, actually, his age is the one age that hasn't changed.
What? No, you said he was 16 at the beginning.
Did I?
Yeah, you did. Cheshire
wow.
was 16.
He's 18 in this draft.
Yeah. So I feel like...
I thought he was at least 17.
No.
16?
I remember.
Wow, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's truly ridiculous. But anyway, I didn't say anything. But
you were like, what?
I was like 16.
I mean, to be fair, your characters are like...
But they're not doing what Cheshire's doing.
That's true. Cheshire's a grown
Cheshire.
Magical creature.
Cheshire's a grown magical teacher. So, yeah, we love Cheshire because he's funny. We love Cheshire because he's going through a lot of stuff, but he's also...
Why is that?
No, hear me out.
Okay.
He's going through a lot of stuff, but...
he's an emotional dude.
He's an emotional dude, but he handles it so well, and I think, like, the way he goes through the challenges in his life is really encouraging to me, and it gives me so much hope.
Nice.
And he just still manages to be this like fun, encouraging character while also not being like a Jason Grace. if you, I don't like
Owen
Jason.
really dislikes Jason Grace.
I don't. Yeah. He's like the Captain America. It's like
Owen doesn't like the perfect guy. Okay,
I don't like.
She likes the slightly messed up guy.
Yeah.
Which I mean, Cheshire is
a really delicate balance, and I think that's partially why I like him so much as a character. And like, whenever I think you've asked like 8 different people their favorite character,
it's always been Cheshire.
It's always Cheshire.
Like
and
every time, I'm like, okay, who's your favorite character? And they're always like, Cheshire, obviously. And I'd be like, okay, who's your second favorite character? Yeah. Speaking of that, who is your second?
Who's my favorite second? Okay, at first I really did not love Lamb, but Lamb is actually really...
Or Lamprocopness is the main character. Mm-hmm. Nobody calls her Lamprocopness. That's her full name.
Yeah. She's known by Lamb. So she's the main character. Yeah, she was kind of boring in the first draft. I'm going to be honest. She was pretty boring. Really boring. Kind of like... Well, no, Indigo was like...
Indigo was always fun.
Indigo was fun, but a tad bit more of a caricature.
Yeah.
She kind of like smoothed out into something that a real person, which I'm proud of. But I think like Lamb also became a person.
Yeah, I feel like,
and so now I really like Lamb.
At first, I feel like she was more of a lens.
Oh, Indigo?
No. Lamb was more of a lens that I was writing the world through.
Yes.
And then she became the person who the story was about and of and.
Yeah. She kind of became more a part of her own story.
Yeah, she became more directing. Like, I don't know.
She became more active in the plot,
She became more active. And, yeah.
Another, like, I think really you've rounded out a lot of the characters throughout editing and rewrites. I think it's kind of hard to pick. Another one of my favorites would be Hair. Hair is
I'm not going to say much about Hair.
We're not going to tell you much about Hair.
How he's introduced is kind of important.
But really, like, I keep thinking of all the characters you rounded out. I'm like, Ravine, Ravenel.
Mac.
Oh my gosh.
Mac.
How did I forget Mac? That's
actually kind of the point. I mean, not the point.
It's but not like, the point. It's Mac, but
it's kind of funny that you forgot because, like, often people forget Mac.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love Mac. Mac
is really great.
He is not a major player, but he's
not. He's never been a major
player. But he's so lovely, and I love him.
Yeah.
I would say that my favorite character. Oh, that's hard. Is.
And also one of my favorite characters is the villain. But that also might be because of my meta knowledge.
Yeah, you have so much meta knowledge.
I have so much meta knowledge.
I was about like. I asked, which one.
Yeah.
There's several.
Well,
but I
not
can
my
assume,
least favorite one. Guys, once this book comes out and...
You're going to be so like...
Guess which villain I'm talking about.
It's going to be pretty obvious.
But guess my favorite villain and guess my least favorite villain.
Also going to be pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Anyway.
No spoilers in the comments section.
Yeah. That's so mean. Don't do that.
If you want to go to a spoilers included on our Discord, there'll be a little section. You guys can talk there.
Also, we'll probably do videos of spoilers included stuff, so you guys can write spoilers in the comments there. But we'll do that after, obviously.
After the book is published. It's not published yet, but
we'll probably.
Oh, here's another question. It's not related to characters, but do you think it's going to be easier now that like the cover and title are out to wait for your book to come out, or do you think it's going to be harder?
Well. For me, I'm not waiting, obviously. I'm frantically working on finishing it.
Yeah, that's as soon as I asked that question, I was like, well, I know what we're going to be doing.
Yeah, I think it'll make it more fun about, like, because now I can say it, now I can talk about it more. Yeah. And now you guys have a picture of, obviously, something we didn't mention particularly is the cover art is of Lamb or Lamprocopness.
Yes. What would you like to see happen in the next few months?
Publishing my book.
Yeah. Okay.
Other than that, I would love to see I mean, you guys appreciate it. I think that's the biggest thing that I'm excited for. I'm so excited to see other people enjoy it, pick it up, read it. I'm thrilled to see it in libraries, and just, being able to see, I mean, there are so many books that have impacted me and I love so much, and I would be so humbled, and like it would be so amazing if people could do that with my book, and like excitedly read it to their friends and quote snippets of it, like stuff like that is, or like suggest it and be like, oh my gosh, you have to read this book. Like those are the types of things that I am most looking forward to. So I know that won't just be in the next couple of months. That'll be in like years to come, but I'm really excited to see that.
Well, yeah, publishing your book is kind of the beginning of a
much larger
thing. It's like the prequel. You're ending the prequel, and you're starting the first book. But also, I'm so excited to see all the places this book is going to take you.
So. Yeah. Speaking of places we're going,
we are
also going to be going to, I guess this is just like recapping update, which if you didn't see, we will be going to Once Upon a Convention. In Maryland in August?
Yes, August 15th through 18th, I think.
Well, whatever dates it is, we'll put it in the description below. We also have it linked on our page.
We do.
So
you can find it on our YouTube link, and then also at links, and we post about it, so we should put it there as well on our Instagram. Yeah. And it's obviously going to be in the Discord.
Yeah, so we'll be there. So if you want to like come meet with us, talk about
Fantasy Con.
Yeah, it's awesome. Oh, I'm super excited to go. So yeah, just again, I would be so excited to meet you guys and talk to you guys. Yeah, like talking about my book is one of my favorite things. So if you want to do that as well, I would be super excited to go for you to come see us. We'll probably be doing other events. If we nail down any other ones, we'll tell you about it.
Let you know.
So, yeah.
What were the other title, cover?
Little snippets. Oh, guys. For you who made it to the end of the video, I'm going to read you guys, and only you guys, an excerpt from chapter 2.
Okay.
So.
Man, I won't even put a timestamp here, so only you can't even use the scrolly bar. Only the true ones who watch the video all the way to the end, and there are not many of you guys. I'm just gonna check this pocket watch. It doesn't work. It died years ago, but I really like it. I'm actually gonna change it.
Got the time there?
Yeah, I'm fixing it to the time that's relevant to Indigo. At least I think I got it correct. Sometimes I just forget stuff about my own book.
Oh, it actually is in chapter 1. I lied earlier. Aha! So
wow, Cheshire makes it into chapter 1. Atlas is going to feel so far behind.
Okay, it's really hard, to read an excerpt that's in the middle of a scene. So this isn't going to make complete sense, obviously, but it's as close to sense that I can get it. Lamb, the main character, was just politely insulted by 3 princesses of a neighboring kingdom. And so the triplets bowed and laughed and wandered off, still chatting over their lines. Why do you put up with it? Lamb spun to see a boy standing next to her, only feet away, grabbing tarts by the handful. It was rare to see someone that she had never seen before. To be perfectly honest, she wasn't great with faces or names. But she was sure that she would have recognized him. He was not very tall, only a little taller than her, with bright cyan hair and a suit that, depending on the light, looked either black or cyan. He certainly did not fit the color scheme of the event. In truth, nothing about him fit anything of the kingdoms of Wonderland.
Oh, wow, so short.
So short. Tantalizing. It's literally just a description of Cheshire. You don't even get his name. You don't even really get her reaction.
Well. Guess you guys will just have to read it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, again, thank you guys.
Thank you guys so much.
Again, date set for it is May 5th, 2025. So,
right.
5/5/2025.
Mm-hmm.
We are super excited and
excited.
very hard to get it out on that date. So, mark your calendars. Hope to see you then. Love you guys.
Bye. Happy Friday, by the way.
Yeah, happy Friday.
Mwah.
Bye.
Man, we can't put our mics down
I
because they're on stands.
Love you guys. Guys, you probably don't know this, but I have proportionally short arms. My arms are shorter than the rest of me. I mean, but like my wingspan.
Imagine your arms are longer than your entire body. That was really good, but really sad and really hard.
Yeah.
It's okay. Hearts and Stones, I feel like.
Oh
Oh my gosh.
no,
Well,
we'll have a more dramatic.
Yeah, we need a more dramatic. I just said the name, but I'll edit it out later.
Okay.